This is really messed up. And one of the main reasons I'm covering this story is this is one of those stories that even if you think, Batwoman is a joke, because it is, and you don't care about the show, it's what happened that I think has a trickle down effect, at least according to my own. This is my theory. I'm just a fat asshole on the internet, right? But I think diversity hiring had an issue, and in a lot of this, because she's describing a set that cannot protect the people on it. Not just her, but multiple individuals that are getting injured. And my assumption, because I should have brought up Why the Last Man, because that's a show that got canceled, ironically. But that showrunner was talking about all the diversity and all the different spots and how beautiful it was. I think there's a lot of diversity hiring, and that's what happens if you have people who aren't. They may not have had a role, but when you have a set where there are constantly injuries for different people, something's amiss. There are some people on that set that are not good enough at their job when it comes to keeping people safe. And I am not a Hollywood director. I'm not a Hollywood guy. I don't know every role of every position on the set. But what happened to her and some of these people on the set was just unacceptable. Unacceptable. And if it was diversity hire, I could be wrong. Be totally wrong. I'm not just saying that just as a, conservative show. Oh, it's the diversity. No. I'm just saying there's a level of unprofessionalism, and my guesstimate being how the only point for this show to exist is agenda, is that agenda got a lot of people hurt because you didn't have people in positions that could do the job as far as the stunt coordination. And that's my assumption because of the injuries. And I don't think, even if that person wasn't a diversity hire, it could be a straight white male. They suck at their job and they deserve to be fired. And I hope to God they're not still the people involved with the sets for Miss Thicker Than a Sneaker, Javika Leslie. She tags a few people. She says, enough is enough. I'm going to tell the whole world what happened on that set. I will come for you, so what happened to me never happens to another person again, and so I can finally take back my life. And the truth, shame on you. Peter Roth, you are first up. You are chapter 1. Not sure if you left after getting promoted to the highest position because you just couldn't stop making women steam your pants around your crotch while you were still wearing said pants. What? Or if you left after pulling a private investigator on me, who you fired as seen in the report, as the report didn't fit your narrative. Either way, when it comes to you, there's already an army waiting for you. What the fuck? So I didn't see this shit. I was just talking about the injuries and shit. So it's a creepy producer. Isn't that crazy? They put all this wokeness in these guys. I don't know if that's like an expression or is that literal. Women steaming the pants around your crotch while you're still wearing them. I'm not sure if he's into some weird shit or if that's some figure of speech. But there you go. This producer one, please have the whole thing. I don't want to. Oh, this is. I remember seeing this. This is a. She showed parts of this, parts of her injuries and parts of like scans a while ago. So this the video. Is it gonna play the video? I guess it's not. So cut to 3 weeks later after this video. It's worse than abnormal. It was diagnosed years ago on set. I got an X-ray. We would make our day. Okay, I'm not sure. We would and make our day. I've documented this for years. On top of that, I have enough documentation to make a 1-hour documentary. That would be interesting if she actually did that. Pray tell, what else would you like me to share? The broken neck or the split in two? The broken neck or the rib split in two or the tumor. Holy shit. To everyone say I was too stiff on Batwoman. Imagine going back to work 10 days. 10 days. Jesus Christ. After this. The whole crew and cast would be fired. I let everyone down. Peter Roth said he would recast, and I just lost the studio millions by getting injured on his set. That is wow. That is Be the One Who Cast who cost so many people their jobs instead of spending a half a day to rewrite me out for a few weeks to heal. Jesus. So basically, when she got injured, this producer was putting the pressure on her to return. 10 days is insane. I remember Stone Cold came back. Like, he didn't wrestle after a broken neck quickly, but he started doing stunners and appearing. He shouldn't have done that. Like, if he would have broke his neck in the current era, like he did in the 90s, he probably wouldn't have wrestled again. But back then, they just didn't give a fuck. So he came back, even though he didn't do matches for a few months. It was only 4 months of him not doing matches. So that's the only super quick. It was like 2 or 3 weeks later, he was back giving people stunners. And then you can only imagine what his neck felt like doing that. With the shockwave going up. You guys know what a Stone Cold stunner looks like. He falls on his ass, shockwave definitely go up his neck. And that's the only other situation I can think of as extreme. Let's see more of this. Okay. And then this is what she's saying. Now, imagine taking a huge pay cut to play a passion product, being so excited about Comic-Con. They told me, then being told they would not adjust to the schedule so I could attend, but then saying we won't announce it. You have to. And me putting my foot down saying, why must I be the face on this? Only to be told if I didn't do this video, they would be silent and people would turn up to find out that on the day I wasn't there. I folded. So she did a video letting people know she wouldn't be at Comic-Con because, well, I mean, if it's Comic-Con, they can't do anything about it, I guess. Then I wanted to do what it was took, but then being told, cover your scar. We don't want to see that scar on video. And you wonder why I post my surgery video. And I can't see what she's saying. She said, and then this is please, to my dear fans, stop asking if I will return to that awful show. I wouldn't return for any amount of money of the world, nor if there were a gun to my head, nor did I quit. I do not quit. They ruined Kate Kane. They destroyed Batwoman. Well, I think it was already destroyed before it got there. Not me. I follow orders, and if I wanted to stay, I was going to have to sign my rights away. Any threats or any bullying tactics or blackmail would not make me stand down. This is where we get into some of the other injuries. And again, there's untold, because if we're doing the math, Forbidden Ruin said 2 of the people were stunt double. Forbidden Ruin, and just in the chat, said there were about 4 people injured, and 2 of the people were her stunt doubles. There have to be more if that's the case. If 2 stunt doubles got hurt by her, that'll be those 2 stunt doubles plus her and plus these 2 crew members that I'm about to talk about now. A crew member got 3rd-degree burns over his whole body, and we were given no therapy after witnessing his skin fall off his face. But I was the only one who sent them flowers and cards, and then we were told we have to do a sex scene without a minute to process. Holy shit. So yeah, you're right. We lost 2 stunt doubles. I got cut in the face. This is not her first injury, the neck injury. I got cut in the face to my eye, and the stunt, I could have been so close to my eye, and the stunt could have been blind. A woman was left quadriplegic. They tried to blame it on her being on her phone so much. So CW didn't help her to start with because they needed to investigate. She had to do a GoFundMe. She's a PA. They work via phone. So that's a PA, 2 stunt doubles, and then another male member of the crew, plus Ruby Rose, in multiple incidents for Ruby Rose. So that's at least 5 people injured multiple times in the case of Ruby Rose because of the cut in her eye. Her accident occurred because our show refused to shut down what everyone else did because of COVID. Now, I don't remember the timeline like I said yesterday, but I believe, because I mean, shit, they've already gotten 2 seasons out in less than a year of this Batwoman, so I can't tell you. And of course, because it's not on Instagram since COVID, Caroline Dries has no heart and wanted us to finish the season throughout the pandemic, and I told her it was a bad idea. Flash, Supergirl, Riverdale already shut down. I felt something bad would happen, and Caroline Dries visited the set 4 or 5 times in a year, unheard of. But in those 4 or 5 visits, she decided she could tell me she knew my injury happened on set, so I should comply with the private investigator. Yet later denied it entirely and said it happened during yoga. I don't do yoga. Now someone will never walk again. We shut down the next day, not because she almost got killed. Not because she almost killed someone, but the government put it. Also, I fought people on set. Yes, not because I wanted to, but because I wanted safety. Ask anyone in hair and makeup what I did for them. After 2 were hospitalized, the only people that came and spoke out was Doug Ray. Talk about unprofessional. Called my agent after my exit to find a way to leave, and she replied, to which she replied, break your neck, yet slam me in the press. Oh, gee. Yeah, she did leave her agency, didn't she? I guess. Yeah, slam me in the press. I never raised my voice on a set, never have. Doug Ray hurt a female stunt double. He yelled at a little bitch, yelled like a little bitch at women, and it was a nightmare. He left when he wanted and arrived when he wanted. He abused women. This is what happens when you have all those women. It leads more to get abused. And in turn, as a lead of the show, I sent the email asking for a no yelling policy. They declined. I was late one time because I was in the hospital. Whoever does these stupid leaks, I'm finding out who is Cameras. I don't know who Cameras is. Who, after I left the hospital, said, yeah, well, maybe if people were not late, we will make our days. A kid, an egomaniac kid who worked 1 a day a week had the audacity, or the stunt department. This is where I think the diversity hiring was happening. This stunt department has to be like disbanded and fired and rebuilt. They should never work in Hollywood again if this is what's going on. Unless, again, worker shortage means they have to. Or the stunt department, who were furious, even though I never blamed them. I went on falling and spoke of my injury and didn't play the game. Aside from them, I was loved and loved my crew. Oh, and they wouldn't let me drive to work. I couldn't legally drive after surgery, so they said get a taxi. Well, there's no budget. That's the last one. And then more pictures of her surgery. Looks like that's it. That's a lot. That is a lot. I feel for her. I know Wookie's cold-hearted. I feel for her. I feel for all those people on the set. It's really sad that this show kept continuing on. I mean, the ratings were terrible. They were hurting people. There's no practical reason to continue this show. There's no practical reason to continue the show, to have recast it. If you had all this controversy and you had all this stuff going on, and like, why do you want to do the show? What made them want to do this show so bad that hurting all these motherfuckers and not being safe, that just made them want to recast? Once she left and they just recast it, even though there's no ratings, the show's not making that much money. It has to be a loss, right? There's no way this show's not a loss to Warner Brothers or CW. It just must be. But Warner Brothers has fired back and causes Ruby Rose's allegations of mistreatment on the set of Batwoman revisionist history. Listen, we know her injuries were real. Some of those other events have been documented. Others hadn't. The guy getting his face burnt off and some of the other stuff that happened to some of those crew members, I hadn't heard of until she tossed it out there. Warner Brothers has fired back at Ruby Rose over her recent allegations of mistreatment and unsafe work condition. Okay, I thought it was John Trent, because he usually says the headline, the first sentence is a different version of the headline, but it was Spencer this time. Shout out to all the Bounty staff. I mean, I fucking use your site so much on this page, so I thank you guys. But after you read a lot of these articles, you start to notice certain things. Word of the CW's alleged workplace failings were first made public by Rose October 19th. It's yesterday. And let's get through it. She says, I didn't up and leave. She told Jimmy Fallon in October 2020. We were in such a weird position because we had to shut down before we could finish the season because of the coup. So, yeah, at that time, talking to Jimmy Fallon, she denied that her neck injury was a factor in the exit. She did know that definitely made going back to work quickly tricky. However, according to Rose's Instagram post, her exit was not the result. Okay, we're not going to reread the article that we just did. I'm trying to get through the what WB's response. So after they got published, Warner Brothers responded to the accusations on October 20th. That's today or yesterday? I'm so bad with this. Yesterday. So I got the wrong date. So this came out a couple days ago, and yesterday is when they responded. They asserted the actress' words were a form of revisionist history, and she was actually let go due to multiple complaints about workplace behavior. I do remember hearing this at the time as well. Despite the revisionist history that Ruby Rose is now sharing, aimed at producers, cast, and crew. Well, it was that mainly producers, the network, and the studio. Truth is, Warner Brothers Television had decided not to exercise its option to engage Ruby for season 2. So they're admitting that they fired her, at least here, of Batwoman based upon multiple complaints about their workplace behavior that were extensively reviewed and handled out privately out with respect for all concerned. That seems creepy. I don't, doesn't really say much. They say it's revisionist history, but they're not really providing any evidence for their claims. And they're admitting that it was their decision not to keep her going. That's short. So that's what Warner Brothers has to say. Hey, I'm not somebody who's going to make decisions for how you guys feel. That's what I was trying to say with Wookie, even though I disagree with him because I think he's being brutal to these people. But hey, you are allowed to feel how you want to feel about this. Warner Brothers says it's revisionist history. It's a lot of people hurt, man. There's a lot of bodies. I don't know. Something janky happened. They didn't really. That statement didn't say anything about what happened to the crew members. Screw Ruby Rose. What about what happened to the crew members? So wait, this says the crew member was paraplegic, not quadriplegic. Either way, any paralysis for this show is fucking ridiculous. And I don't know that diversity hiring. I feel uncomfortable just because I don't want to be tossing my beliefs and my theory on things on what may have happened. Because this is a pretty brutal situation. If you needed more reason to think Hollywood is evil, here you go. Because it really sucks what happened to those crew members. What happened to her? What happened to the crew members? Everyone.